What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Well, not welcome back. This is the first time you're here because this is my first ever video. Today we're going to be talking about the Jerod Mayo firing and the Patriots in general. Trying to gauge what I think is going to happen next. So this past Sunday, it's Thursday today, Jerod Mayo was fired like 2 hours after the Patriots game where they beat the Buffalo Bills. Usually, I'd be pretty happy about beating the Buffalo Bills, but this time I didn't want it to happen. As a kid growing up in Canada, everyone around me is a Buffalo Bills fan. So, me being the one Patriots fan, usually I celebrate that and throw it in my friend's face. But this time I wasn't happy. I said, damn it. Damn it. I wanted the first pick because I wanted a specific guy, and now I don't know if I can get him. And logistically, it's not looking like we're going to get much value to trade back out of our spot. I don't think we're going to trade up because we don't need a QB. So there's no reason to trade up. But anyways, let's talk about the Jerod Mayo firing. So Robert Kraft stated that after the game, he told Jerod that he would not be returning. And this is something I wasn't necessarily surprised about. I think I was 60-40 on it. Where 60% I thought he was going to come back, and 40% I thought he was going to leave. Because they had been so hell-bent in their support of Jerod, where I thought, yeah, we did really bad this year. Yeah, we lost a lot of games. Yeah, we lost badly a couple times. But, they were always being so supportive of him. I didn't think it was possible. Not that I didn't think it was possible. I'm lying to you when I say that. But I mean, I didn't think it was likely. Because all the reports leading up were like, yeah, they're going to stick behind Jerod. He's our guy, blah, 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 blah. In my head, I was like, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Because I don't know if this can get better. I felt Jerod was placed in a very bad spot coming into this job with the Patriots. So if you look at it, he had 5 years of coaching experience under Bill Belichick, and he didn't really have a leadership role. I always thought prior to him getting the job, because I had a feeling he would get the job after Bill left, because that was the rumors for a couple years. I felt Bill needed to promote Jerod to defensive coordinator, and he never got that role, and I never believed he was the play caller. So, even though he was a crucial coach on the defensive side of the ball, he was never truly in charge of anything. He was just there. So, when you hear that Bill's not talking to him, he hasn't talked to him since since he departed from the Patriots, it's starting to click. It's starting to click. The organization, the people working there, were not on board with this, but they knew about it. I believe they knew about it. I think everyone knew that Jerod was the next head coach. And Bill didn't like that they had chose Jerod behind his back, not letting him know. I think Bill would be fine with it and helped mentor Jerod if he was told about the plan. They say, hey, Bill, we love everything you've been doing for us throughout these past 20 years or whatever. We want Jerod to be the next head coach after you. How would you feel about, mentoring him? Teaching him your methods and how to run a football team from a head coaching standpoint. Bill might have been slightly opposed to it, but I think he'd be open to it because you came to him from a man-to-man perspective and said, you can stay as long as you want, but we want him to be the next guy. You see where I'm going with it. I think people are a lot more receptive to this. But when You handpick a man, give him an extension, write in his contract. I pick you. And everyone else there is like, you pick him? What about me? I'm more experienced than him. I do more than him right now. And you're going to pick him. I'll give you an example. Say I worked at Walmart. Say I was the manager of a store at Walmart. And my boss is named Bob. Bob comes to me and he says, Jalen, I really like you. I really like what you've been doing at your store. You guys have been performing well. And you've only been doing the store manager role for 2 years. So I'm like, yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. And then he says, you know Jim, the regional manager for the couple stores in our area. When he retires or when I fire him, I'm going to make you, Jalen, the next regional manager of this section of stores. So I say, yeah, I'd like that. I'd appreciate doing that. That sounds like something I'd want to do. But at the same time, in my head, I'm like, I'm not going to tell my boss, no, I don't want to be the boss. He's offering me the role. He likes what I do. So, like, who am I? In what situation am I to say, no, you shouldn't pick me for that? Of course I'm going to be like, yes, I'd like to be the next head coach. I'd like to be the next boss of Walmart. So then, the stores in my area, say there's 5 stores. There's Tom, John, Sarah, Linda, and LaQuanda. And then there's me. And we are all the store managers. Tom and John have worked at Walmart for 20 years and they've been managers for 10 years. So they're a lot more primed for the position than me because I've only been working at Walmart for 5 years. And I've only been a store manager for 2. So then 2 years later comes and what was his name? Jim retires. And Bob says, Jalen, I'm going to make you regional manager. So everyone finds out on the same day that the gym guy retires. And everyone's like, I don't know what he's going to do. I wonder who he's going to hire. Me, I'm sitting in my chair comfy. I'm saying, it's me. But I'm not saying it to anyone. I don't say it to anyone. And guess what? They're all like, I think it should be Tom or John. John and Tom have been doing this for so long. They've given so much to the company of Walmart. They're so experienced. I think they'd be perfect to lead us into the future in our region, right? So then the next day, Bob comes press conference and he announces, hello, everyone. As the boss of Walmart, it's my great honor to announce Jalen as the next regional manager of the stores in Region 444. So they all go, did you hear that right? They just picked the guy with the least amount of experience in the room. Yes, he does a good job at his job. But what about us? Why not me? People will be offended by the decisions you make, especially when they seem unjust and unfair. So then when I get into this role, the sales go down, the turnover is really bad, like lots of people leave because they're unhappy about how Jalen is running the region. The thing was, Jalen was never prepared to run the region because he didn't know what he was doing. So then they have to fire LaQuanda and Sarah and Tom and John because their stores are doing so badly. And then Bob comes to me and he says, Jalen, this hasn't worked. I'm going to let you go. How is this my fault? Yes, it looks bad because I underperformed in my role. But at the same time, all those managers and me have to be like, if I was Jalen, I would have accepted the role too. But to a fault, it's all Bob's fault. Because Bob should have never done that. He should have let us all interview for the role. He should have said, I like this about him and I like this about him. But I don't know if Jalen's ready for the role, even though he has all these great character traits and all that. So, I think that's a little bit what, Robert Kraft did. And I'm very glad that after he fired Jerod, he owned up to his mistake. And he said, I put him in a bad situation. He was destined to fail. He was destined to fail. And I feel really bad for him. Because I like him as a person. He seems like a nice guy. And he seemed like he has a good career in coaching. Because other teams wanted him. And that was why Robert was so eager to keep him. Because everyone had interest. And interest is deceiving. Because it will make you make rash decisions. It will make you make choices that you shouldn't make. We make these choices in our real life. When you're talking to a girl or a boy, and they're starting to show interest, you make decisions that you wouldn't make on a regular basis. You will do things that are irrational. And that's what Robert did. But as we move on, I need to talk about the head coaching interview thing. So we interviewed Pep and Brian Leftwich, and then we interview Vrabel today and Ben Johnson tomorrow. We put in a request for Aaron Glenn, but I don't know if he's actually going to interview for us. It's a two-man race. This is Ben. This is Mike Vrabel. I like both of them. I have positive things to say about both of them. But what I will say is, if the Patriots hire Mike Vrabel, I think it looks slightly bad. Slightly. Because you're going back on the decision you made last year, and you're going to make the decision that you should have made last year. Everyone expects you to do it. And that's why I have a slight inkling that they might not hire Mike Vrabel. That's the only reason why. Because it's too predictable. It's too obvious. And it looks worse. If you hire Ben Johnson, he has no real connection to your organization. No one said last year you should have hired Ben Johnson and not Jerod Mayo. If you make the choice to hire Ben Johnson, I will not be mad. Because he's a really proven offensive coordinator with loads of experience in different spots around the football landscape. If you pick Mike Vrabel, I will not be mad at that either. Because he's an experienced head coach who's had success. So you really can't go wrong. Ben is a little more iffy because he's never been in the head coaching role. So you don't know if he's going to be able to be a leader of men. You don't know if the players will respect him or, reciprocate energy towards him. Because they liked Jerod, to my best understanding. It was just Jerod didn't know what he was doing. And when you don't know what you're doing, people lose respect for you. In a workplace, if you can tell that your manager doesn't know what the hell they're doing. In the classroom, if you can tell your teacher knows nothing about the topic they're teaching you, you will not take them seriously. So, if Ben Johnson wows you, and you're impressed with what he says and what he brings to the table, go for it. If Mike Vrabel tells you, this is my plan, you know me, and you say, fine, you know what, this is safe, I feel comfortable in the decision, go with it. There's no bad choice between the two, but if you go outside of those two, I don't want it. Those are the best two options, and those are two options that are interested in you. They want you, you want them. Take it or leave it. Don't ruin your opportunity. So, that's all I have to say today. Like and subscribe. Join the family. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a great one.